इस लेसन में हम एक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सॉन्ग फॉर्म या स्ट्रक्चर सीखेंगे कॉल्ड 32 bar AABA form. सीखने के लिए to really internalize it, we're going to learn a melody over the form. We're going to play seventh chords over the form. We're going to play eighth note arpeggios over the form. और finally हम ये तीन चीज़ों को interchange करेंगे over the form so that we can practice changing concepts and improvising while keeping track of the form. So let's dive in and have some fun. इस लेसन के लिए मैंने एक सिंपल ट्यून लिखा है called Something Like a Train, which is based on Take the A Train by the Venerable Duke Ellington. ये एक सिंपल ट्यून है, but it's a great introduction to jazz form and jazz structures and jazz melodies. So let's dive in and have some fun. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. We're always learning a lot by putting out this content. और अगर आपको अच्छा लग रहा है, then do subscribe and send us an email. So to understand form, let's understand the typical structure of a jazz song. Pehle, there is an intro, which sometimes can be free form, rubato, or it can be, let's say, 4 bars or 8 bars. Then the form starts. It starts over here where we call the head. The head is when you play the melody of the tune. जब हम tune की जो melody है, we play over the entire form of the tune. So for example, in a blues tune, the form is 12 bars. So a jazz blues tune will have a melody played over 12 bars. That's the head. उसके बाद every soloist will take, for example, a few forms worth of solos, which is in the improvisation section. But the improvisations are always played over the form. It's not half the form. It's not 1.5 times the form. It's always over the form, right? And then finally, once the improvisations are done, हम head एक और बार बजाते हैं at the end. The form is never broken unless there's a bridge somewhere in between. And then finally, you have an outro. So the form of this tune is what they call an AABA. This tune has 32 bars which are split into 4 8-bar sections. The A sections are almost identical, and then there's one B section. So it's A section, B section, and A section. ये जो song है, it's in the key of C. The first 2 bars are the 1 chord. Then you have something called a secondary dominant, which is not in the key of C. This is the 5 of 5. ये हम बाद में discuss करेंगे, but it's basically a dominant chord which serves as a dominant of the dominant of C major. Then we have a D minor, which is the 2 chord in the key of C. Then you have a G7, which is the 5 chord in the key of C, and then C major again. The second A section is almost identical to the first A section, except that at the end you have this little what they call backdoor 2-5, which goes into the B section, which is F major 7. Now F major 7 is also in the key of C major. It's the 4 chord. Okay, but we're treating this 2-5 as a backdoor into F major 7. इसके बारे में हम बाद में बात करेंगे, but all you need to know is that the B section is also pretty much in the same key, right? फिर ये 2 bars आते हैं, which are the secondary dominant, and finally we have a 2-5 leading back into the last A section. So this is a quick harmonic analysis of the tune, and the structure of the tune is again AABA 32 bars. पहली चीज़ हमें करनी है, let's learn the melody of the tune. So I'll play it once and then I'll break it down. ये ट्यून AABA फॉर्मेट में है. The melody is also AABA, as in all the A sections are the same and the B is different. So actually हमें सिर्फ एक A section को analyze करना है और एक B section को analyze करना है. So let's start with the A section. Okay, the A section is 8 bars long. The first 2 bars are in C major. तो इसमें एक्चुअली मैं एक C major triad यूज़ कर रहा हूँ with an enclosure on the third. An enclosure is basically when you take a note, let's say for example E, which is the third of C, C, E, G, E, and I enclose it with a chromatic note below, for example E flat, and a chromatic note above, or a note above, F. So I have C, then I have the enclosure around E, and then G, and then just the rest of the triad. और मैंने D7 के लिए exactly the same चीज़ की है, except I land on the sharp 11. Okay, then for D minor 7, I just have a minor blues lick in A minor going down, which is the relative minor of C major. And then something really interesting, this is a very common technique in bebop. For G7, I just outline it with a B minor 7 arpeggio, which basically outlines the 3rd, 5th, flat 7 and 9th of G7. This is a very common technique in jazz, और इसके बारे में हम बाद में बात करेंगे in a different course. But for now, all you need to know is that it exists, okay? And then finally we land on C. For the B section, okay, we have the first 4 bars which are in the key of F major. And essentially what we're using here is just an F major triad, a first inversion. Okay, as you can see, it's just a first inversion and then just playing around with a melody note. और फिर D7 के लिए in the B section, which is the which bars 5 and 6. Again, I'm just taking a similar concept for the melody, a first inversion. And then for the last 2 bars, I'm just stealing something from Take the A Train. अगर आप original melody सुनोगे, you'll see it just has. And that's it. Those are the 2 melodies. अब हम पूरा फॉर्म बजाएंगे using simple 7th chords. If you're not familiar with 7th chords, please go back to lesson 4 and revise them. मैं गिटार पे बजा रहा हूँ, but they're applicable to any instrument. And we're going to use very simple rhythms, whole notes and half notes to play through the form. This is a straightforward exercise, but do it carefully, slowly, and make sure you can do it with confidence. अब आपने मेलोडी सीखी है ओवर द फॉर्म और आपने 7th chords भी बजाए हैं ओवर द फॉर्म. सो दिस शुड गिव यू अ गुड सेंस ऑफ फील ऑफ व्हाट दिस फॉर्म इज लाइक. अब हम arpeggios बजाएंगे अगेन ओवर द फॉर्म. फॉर द सेक ऑफ टाइम मैं सिर्फ A सेक्शन पे बजाऊंगा, बट व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज फर्स्ट टेक जस्ट सिंपल 7th arpeggios. और अगर आप familiar नहीं हो इसके साथ, go and revise this on lesson 4. But we're just going to go through on the A section 7th arpeggios starting from the root, ascending, and then 7th arpeggios from the root descending. हमारे फाइनल एक्सरसाइज पे पहुंच गए. In the final exercise, we're going to mix the concepts up. So we're going to make patterns over each of the sections. So for example, we're going to have a pattern in which we have 2 bars of melody followed by 2 bars of chords. This pattern of 2 bars of melody followed by 2 bars of chords will be followed all the way through the form. For example, in the A section, we'll have melody followed by chords, then again melody followed by chords, and this will go all the way through the form. दूसरी चीज भी कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी कैन नाउ हैव मेलोडी फॉलोड बाय आर्पेजियोज. अगेन मेलोडी फॉलोड बाय आर्पेजियोज all the way through the form. अब हम एक 8 bar pattern भी बना सकते हैं. Melody, arpeggios, chords and melody again all the way through the form. तो अगर आप ऐसे practice करोगे, then in no time you will be comfortable not only with the AABA forms, but you can also use the same process to approach any jazz standard. और हम आगे बढ़ के और भी ऐसे examples करेंगे. Till then, have a great time practicing and see you on the next lesson. So if you have any questions for me or us at the Goa Jazz Academy, please do email me at karan@goajazzacademy.com. And we'd love to see what you're working on, and if you have a few minutes, do check out some of the other videos in this lesson series and whatever else is on our YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. Have a great evening or day wherever you are.